Hello guys. Today we're going to discuss suffixes, and I just want us to review quickly what a suffix is. We've talked about prefixes previously, and both a suffix and a prefix are what we call affixes, which means affix means to attach, to stick something, to link something together. Prefixes go before a root word or a base word, okay, and we build on it, and prefixes change the meanings. But now we're going to talk about suffixes, and suffixes are the few letters that we add at the ending of each word, and they change the part of speech. They change what the word does and where it belongs. So maybe a little bit of the meaning, but more than anything, the part of speech. It also can change the tense, so it can put into past tense or progressive tense. It has many different things that it does for us. Now, I had asked you to do a word formation worksheet, and really we should have talked about this before I did that to you guys. So let's talk about prefixes today. We're going to take a look at a list that I've posted on your module. Let me go ahead and share, and let's take a look at your screen. So we are in week 3, and week 3 we began with prefixes, and I have added a section on suffixes. So we're going to take a look at 26 common suffixes. There are many suffixes, and you can find a lot on the internet, but in particular we're going to look at these 26, and they are divided by groups, by how they change the word. So I want you to think of suffixes as they're ways to help you understand meanings of words and how you use them in context. So let's just go through this list and let's talk about how we use those suffixes. So we're going to start with the noun suffixes. So we have the suffix in the first column, the meaning in the middle column, and then examples in the third column. So ACY, its meaning is state or quality. Well, what does that mean, state or quality? Well, state means the condition, the particular condition that someone or something is in a particular time, okay? Or condition is just it talks about your appearance, the quality or the working order of something. So state is how you're feeling at a particular time or something. So ACY, we can add it to the root word private and make privacy. So it means in the state of being private, which means you don't want to share a lot. You want to keep it to yourself. Okay, that's something very private. So I want my privacy. So we take the root word, which is private, the base word, the base word, which is private, which is an adjective. And it means that if something's private, it is yours alone and you don't want to share it. But if I add ACY to the end, it means it changes it to the noun. And so I can say, I like my privacy. Okay, I like the state of staying private. Okay, I like to be in that act, in that condition of that. Okay, and there are several other words. You don't have to know all these words. Choose one that you understand. So we have many others. We have AL, which is an act or a process of something. So we have like refusal. So what's the base word? Refuse, which is to say no, right? So it's a verb. So if I refuse something, I'm doing something, so it's kind of an action. But if somebody has refused something I offered them, that is a refusal. Okay, so it changes to the noun. So all of these suffixes change the word, a verb or an adjective, to a noun. Now, We have several kinds. We have two kinds of suffixes. We have suffixes that begin with vowels, and we have suffixes that begin with consonants. And consonants are, each one will decide on how you change things in the spelling and how you use that word. But as we go on, let's look through a few more. A-N-C-E, E-N-C-E. Again, this is state or quality. You'll see many different suffixes kind of do the same job, okay? And the reason being is when we have our words in English, we want to put a suffix that complements that base word, that root word. And some suffixes don't sound right with them, so we have different suffixes that work with that. So A-N-C-E or E-N-C, state or quality of. Maintenance, the base word is maintain, to keep something in working order, okay? So maintenance is the act of keeping something in a working order. Okay, so we have maintenance of our vehicles, we have maintenance of our bodies when we exercise or whatever. So that we're using as a noun, and the base word is maintain. So as you look through these words, you have dumb, which is a place or a state of being. Okay, so you can see freedom. Okay, it's a state of being free. Okay, but you also have kingdom, and that would be like a place. Certain countries have kingdom areas that they would talk about. So anyway, we have different ways that we can use these words. ER and OR. Very familiar with this word. Okay, ER is one who does something, a person who does something, who's skilled at something, or that it has a vocation. So this changes it to a person. And we have a lot of suffixes that change verbs to a noun. Okay, so obviously teach, I teach. So I am one who teaches. I'm skilled at teaching, so I'm a teacher. Okay, so very common. Some other words for people that we use are IAN. They're not all on here. Librarian, IAN, library, librarian, one who works and is skilled at taking care of books in a library. EER, engineer, one who works in the engineer field. ENT, president, resident. These are people. ESS, waitress, stewardess. Now this is usually ESS is like a female. Okay, so these are all people, ESS. IAN, guardian. I think I already said that one. IC, alcoholic. Different words like that. So we have a lot of suffixes for people, just like we have a lot of suffixes for state or quality. And like we have prefixes, we have more than one prefix that means not. So you have your choice with several of them. So many here, the nouns, okay, ism is a doctrine or a belief or a practice. So if you practice, if you believe in communism, you might be a communist, or maybe you practice Buddhism. You believe in Buddha. So these are doctrines or beliefs or a practice, the belief of something or a practice. IST, again, this is a person, ist. So IST is one who carries out a specific action, like biologist, a person who works in biology. A chemist, a person who works in chemistry. So these are one who does something, an action. Okay, and then ITY, TY, here we have quality of. Okay, so let's look. They have inactivity, so here we're adding a prefix in, but quality of, we're active. It's the quality of moving, okay? Serenity, I'm not going to go through these words that maybe you might or might not know. Serenity, serene, being calm. It's the quality of being calm, which serene means calm, and that's an adjective. So just that feeling overall is serenity. Okay, mint. Oh my goodness, so many times we use this word, and that's just the condition of being something. And remember, that means it can be the state, the appearance, the quality. Okay, so argument, the state of arguing. I'm in the middle of arguing. I'm having an argument. Okay, I said argue is the verb, but when I say, man, this is an argument we're having. Okay, NESS, a state of being. So it means how you feel at the time. So heaviness, you feel heavy, or there's a heaviness on my chest. I don't feel good. Or sadness, you feel heavy. Okay, so a state of being is what's going on right now. How do you feel at that moment? And you notice all of these are kind of related to feeling, rudeness, testiness. Okay, ship means a position that you hold. Okay, an internship. Intern is a person who doesn't get paid, but they're working at a job to learn about that job. So internship is that position. Like, it's almost like it's a job. Okay, internship. Shun, okay, SION, TION. Now this one is interesting because it's another one of those state of beings, but it has a lot of different rules on spelling, and we'll talk about that later. But when we add shun to a word to make a noun, it moves the stress in that word. Anytime you have a word that ends in shun, information, the syllable before shun is the syllable that you will stress every single time. Information, recommendation, abbreviation. And a lot of times you're adding an A-T-I-O-N or a T-I-O-N or an I-O-N or an S-I-O-N, depending on what that root word ends with, whether it's a consonant or a vowel. All right, then let's look at, and these are just common ones, okay? So I'd like you to learn these, the verbs, okay? So we have ATE, which means to become. So this is like an action. Of course, we're coming. So example here, regulate. So something's regular, happens all the time, but now maybe it's not always regular, but I want it to be, so I'm going to regulate. I'm going to make it the action of being regular. Okay, so to become regular. Okay, EN is also one of those that means to become, enlighten, awaken, to become awake, wooden, to become like wood. Okay, if I and fi is also one of those, make or become. Notice these are all verbs, so they all change to like an action of doing something, I'm becoming something. So terrify, which we know means to scare, right? So we take terror, which is the noun, and it's very, it's something that is scary that's happening. And if I terrify, I'm making you scared. Okay, IZE and ISE. Now this one is typically we just use ISE, and you notice there's a little asterisk here, and at the bottom it says in American English verbs end with IZE. I think I just said that backwards, didn't I? We typically, in American English, we use IZE, but in British English, the spelling changes to ISE. So it's not uncommon to see words use ISE, but in American English, we use IZE. So civilized means to become civil. I want you to be civilized. I want you to become civil, okay? Now let's just finish with our adjectives here. We have able, and able, we use this one, able or able, all the time. Capable of being, or it is, or it can be. So see, we have edible, which comes from eat, and you can eat it. You're able to eat it. Presentable, which means present. You're able to present something. Just many, many words. Enjoyable. Can you enjoy it? Yes, you can enjoy it. Okay, AL means it's related to. Pertaining to means it's related to. So regional means it's related to that region. Okay, region's a noun, the area. And when we add AL, we're saying it's a regional thing. Okay, we're using it as an adjective. We have esque. This one kind of goes like in your memory. You remember, it's reminiscent of, okay? Picturesque, it reminds you of a picture, okay? So if something is esque, it reminds you of something, okay? Full is notable for something or full of, okay? So hopeful, I'm full of hope, okay? Helpful, I'm full of help. So full, very common, all right? The opposite of that is down here, it's less, okay? And it's just gonna be without. Helpless, helpful, so just the opposite. Then we have ick and ickle, and that just means it's related, it's pertaining to, it's related to. Musical, what's it related to? Music, okay? So again, these are just changing them to adjectives. And knowing the word forms and knowing that this is an adjective or a noun, it will really help you with your writing and also when you are speaking, because then you sound more knowledgeable. You know what you're talking about. And a lot of this is just takes time and listening and reading and over until you hear and you're familiar with that. IOUS or OUS, that means it's characterized by. So nutritious means it has to do with nutrition. Okay, so let's skip portentous. Studious means has to do with studying. Okay, he's a studious person. All right. Ish, it means you have that quality of something. So if you are childish, it means you're acting like a child would act. So that might not be a good thing, okay? IVE, it means you have the nature or kind of the quality of the same. So creative means you can create. You're able to do that. You're a very creative person. You have that quality about you. Less, we have that one, means less instead of full. Endless, ageless, we don't have it. And then why, it's characterized by, it's very common, characterized by. Sleazy, hasty, greasy means, yeah, it's related to that as well. But we also have like ly, and that's not on here, which is an adverb. So if we'd add that one, ly, slowly, it'll take the adjective to an adverb, okay? From a slow person to he's walking slowly. So let's review. We have our nouns, which are people, places, things, and our suffixes here. And many of the meanings tell us about the state that they're in at a certain time, or the quality or the condition. We have our verbs, which those are our actions, what we're doing. And so there's a lot less verb suffixes here, but I do want you to learn these. And then we have our adjectives, many adjectives, which just describes our nouns, what we're doing. And then the adverb, the one adverb I want you to remember is ly, and that describes the verb. So this gives you a little picture of suffixes and just a review of the common suffixes. From here, I'd like you to go ahead. Let's close this out. We'll go back to our modules, and you can continue to move on down how to use suffixes and just begin working through. I'll be posting other videos along the way. If you have any questions, please email me anytime, apercy59274@troy.edu. I'll talk to you soon.